This is 20K the producer, and you're watching SIMOZA TV.
None of my friends gon' miss me. When I got money, got plenty. All this liquor made me dizzy. All this shit be hurting kidneys.
I came up with the name 20K because actually I had multiple names before I was actually 20K. Like, I started off with Bathing God. That was like my first one, original one, and like people that knew me for that name like knew me when I first started making beats and stuff. And then I went to Melody, and I used to go by Melody, and then I was like, I went to 20K the producer, and originally the K stood for Katana, but I started to like, because I really started making my better beats when I was 20 years old, so that's what it kind of originates from. I think my favorite artist to work with was King Louis, because of his energy and his vibe was just, it was real, and it was upbeat. It was great working with him, and you could feel it through the music too. So it was just a great atmosphere and working with that guy, and he's a good person overall. So I know exact producer I want to work with. I want to work with Honorable C-Note. He's an amazing producer, and I feel like he's slept on. He's the most slept on producer in this industry, and people don't think he's that great, but he's an amazing producer to me. Oh man, it was a group that I started because I was in the car scene, and I did a lot of street racing way back when, and I was into cars. I mainly got into cars because of Midnight Club 3, and so I started building cars, and I met these group of people, and we jokingly made a group called Long Dick Style, and we put it on our cars, and now it's a thing, kinda. I mainly switched to myself being an artist because I realized that being or progressing in this industry isn't really about working with the artists that are already established and trying to make a name through them, but rather making a name by coming up and creating your own artists. So I wanted a singer, which I already have, that I am working with right now, to progress their sound and stuff, and I needed a rapper that I wanted to work on with as well, but I couldn't really get one or really hold a connection with one, so I was like, why not myself? I have a production group known as the Bankers, and we started that back in 2013, and it's a group of 4 producers, and one other one, not including myself, also raps on his own beats, and he's a major influence on what I make my music into, because I think his music is amazing. He's known as Moxie Double D. I did go to school, but that didn't teach me how to produce. I mainly went to school for engineering. I originally went to school for mixing and mastering music. I went to Full Sail University in Florida, and that's where I met most of my people that are in my production group, and that's where I got into producing because of the people I was around. I originally didn't want anything to do with producing. All I wanted to do was mix, and I had it set in my head that I didn't want to produce at all. And one day, once again, Moxie, he said, just try it, just try to produce. And he gave me his whole drum library, and which he'd been building for years. He gave me it all, put it on my computer, and I downloaded FL Studio, and that's where I started. I don't really like YouTube producers. They lower the standard for us producers because we either are in the studio with these artists and we make them specifically for the artist, and then you got a producer selling 10 beats for $30 and you're trying to sell your custom beats for $100 and they're like, oh, I could just get it off YouTube. But then at the end of the day, you never met that person, you're not vibing with that person. That producer is not actually a producer, he's a beat maker. Damn, that is a good question. What keeps me going? Sometimes I don't even know. And sometimes I get in a rut where I can't even make shit. But you know what keeps me like inspired? SoundCloud artists. Only because they don't have a label in their ear and they're able to create anything. And their music is so experimental. It just makes me like listen to them and I'm like, oh crap, that inspired me to make something. So that's why I don't even listen to the radio. You can't even ask me like, oh, did you hear that Cardi B record? Like, no, I didn't, because I don't listen to that. I listen to SoundCloud or I listen to just like super underground indie artists. TUPAC. I use FL Studio 11. I don't like 12 or 20 yet. I didn't get used to them, so I still like 11. And Malcolm Flex is trying to get me to move on, but I can't just yet. So I'm still on 11. My favorite plugins right now is Xband 2. I like Xband 2. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's a Pro Tools plugin, and it's used to make, it's a VST. But I like the sounds in it because they're dry, they're not too wet. Like Nexus is super wet, but I like Xband right now. And I like FM8. That's kind of stuff that has really good bell sounds in it. And of course, Omnisphere. I actually don't even use Omnisphere that much, even though I got it. What I'm doing right now is I'm working on building a business right now. And I'm going to be building a studio out here, which will have multiple studios on the inside of it. And my business name is called Select, and it's going to be a multimedia group, which not only does music, but also does media, information system security, AV work and stuff like that. But it's called Select, and it has multiple branches inside of it that do multimedia work inside of it. But what I'm working towards right now is the building where I'll have multiple rooms, which will be able to be rented, and you'll be able to put your studio in there and bring your own equipment and rent out that room. And there'll also be a main room where artists will be able, that don't have equipment, that could just rent the room, including an engineer, and just work inside that room as if it's a regular studio. Hey, I'm 20K and you're watching SIMOZA TV. Mm.